Today on Community Cooking, we have guest chef Samuel Sellona back in the kitchen with another incredible meal. We're making a beautiful rendition of a stuffed turkey with this turkey Ballontine recipe. We're stuffing our turkey with herb focaccia, arugula, porcini mushrooms, and toasted pine nuts. You won't want to miss it. We're cooking with some of the best chefs from right here in our own community. So grab a seat, get comfortable. We've got another great show for you. This is your Community Cooking. Hello and welcome to Community Cooking. I am your host, Kirk Lyons. In our kitchen today is my friend and chef, Samuel Sellona. How are you, Chef?
I'm doing very well, thank you.
Good to have you as always. Now, you are not just a chef, you are the executive chef at Torrance Memorial Medical Center, correct?
Yes, I am. That's correct.
Now, I mean, talk about a good steady gig, right? You got a captive audience there.
Yes. Well, people get sick and they need to eat, so.
Listen, I would never make light of winding up in the hospital, but if you're going to wind up in a hospital, not a bad place to be with this man cooking for you. I mean, you guys actually, patients order off of a menu, correct?
Yes, it's a restaurant-style menu. It's room service, so it's an actual menu that patients look at, and then ticket goes into the kitchen, several floors down from where they're at, and the cooks cook it to order, and they within 15 to 20 minutes, it's up in their room.
And that's addition to also overseeing like the cafeteria there,
yes,
correct?
We have actually we just started a Helena's Bistro. We're doing gourmet type burgers and sandwiches and salads. We have 2 cafes also, and we do a high-end catering for med execs and guests. A VIP guest.
And then also, yes, you cater outside events, correct?
Yes, we do.
Wow, I mean, that's some operation.
Yeah, it's a big operation.
Now, listen, I'm really excited about today's menu because when you come, typically, you prepare something that requires like serious technique, and today is no different. So right off the bat, I'm going to say, set the record on your DVR, because you're going to want to watch this a couple times. We're making a recipe known as turkey Ballontine.
Ballontine, it's a classic.
Yes, I mean, as old school as it gets, right? Sort of that old school hotel sort of a dish.
Yes, it is.
Tell us a little bit about it.
Well, it's a traditional French dish, which is a rolled meat, which is usually stuffed with stuffing or other meats or vegetables, and then roasted.
So now people are saying, okay, great, you're stuffing, you're rolling. How are you going to roll a turkey? Aren't you going to have to debone that turkey?
Yes.
So that's what we're doing today. We are deboning a turkey, stuffing the turkey, rolling it, and then you're also going to show us how to truss it, correct? Okay, great, right. Well, we're going to get started with actually making the stuffing, because you can't stuff a bird without stuffing. So tell us what we have here for our stuffing.
Well, our main ingredient is our focaccia bread, which you can purchase at any grocery store. Personally, I like to use rosemary focaccia. I like that rosemary herb. And there's different types of other focaccia breads that you can purchase as well. And then we have a porcini mushroom. If you take a smell of this.
Oh, yeah, I love porcini. And these are dried.
These are dried. Normally when they're dried, they're already sliced. And before using it, we want to reconstitute it with water, or if you like, you can use a white wine or maybe even a broth. I usually soak it overnight.
Right, and then that water that it soaks in, don't throw that away.
Yes.
You now have mushroom stock, and that can be used in all sorts of things.
Yes.
So
we have a mirepoix, and then with that, I'm going to add a little bit of garlic.
Okay.
We have our olive oil.
All
we
right.
have a dry white wine, some eggs as a binder. We have a Italian blend, which is a mixture of bay leaf, marjoram, thyme, rosemary, basil, oregano. It's just a mix.
Okay.
And in your local grocery store, you'll find it already pre-mixed.
Sure.
So it's called the Italian blend. We have a chicken stock, and then our roasted pine nuts, which I roasted for today's meal.
No worries.
And then the mushrooms, and then Italian parsley.
Parsley, great. So all fairly straightforward ingredients. Where do we get started in terms of making it?
Okay, so right now I have my pan nice and hot.
Okay,
I'm going to turn the heat up a little bit. Okay.
And porcini mushrooms is something most people are going to buy dry anyway. I mean, porcini's kind of tough sometimes to find fresh. You do see it at the farmer's market, but you also find the dry there too.
Yeah.
And it's got a very pronounced. There's no mushroom flavor quite like porcini, correct?
Yes, it's like walking in a forest.
Yeah, it's great. It's one of my favorites.
Woodsy, very woodsy.
You could substitute that for another mushroom or a wild mushroom blend or something.
If you like, if you like that woodsy type of flavor, shiitake is another good one. Anything that's pungent in aroma.
Great.
I chose a porcini because I just really like that.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm with you.
Smell. So now our pan is nice and hot.
Great.
It's going to smoke a little bit. That's about 2 tablespoons. So we'll get it nice and hot.
Beautiful, yeah.
And we're going to add our onions.
Always nice to start off with a hot pan, right, Chef?
Oh, yes.
Now, he mentioned the term mirepoix earlier.
Mirepoix, yep.
Go ahead. You can explain
okay.
it.
Mirepoix is just a mixture of onions, carrots, celery, and it's aromatic vegetables. It's normally 6% onions, and then the rest will be even up with the carrots and celery.
So pretty much like kind of 2 parts onion to 1 part carrot, 1 part celery, and pretty much the basis for all French cooking.
And with this stuffing, this is the only thing that gets cooked. Everything will be going into a pre-diced focaccia bread.
And you just diced that up. You didn't dry that out or anything?
No, I just diced it up.
It's a pretty sturdy bread. Is that why you chose it?
Yes, it's sturdy and it absorbs a lot of the flavor.
Yes.
And by itself, it has already a lot of flavor.
And I would imagine that if you were to substitute bread and go with something else, like maybe like an egg bread or a challah or something like that, you'd want to maybe dry it out a little bit first so that it would absorb, because that's really the key. What you're trying to do is that you want that bread to absorb the liquid that's in this stuffing, correct?
Yes, yes.
Okay.
And also, being focaccia, very absorbent, also will be infused with the turkey that's...
yeah, it's going to pick up that flavor, right?
So, just going to stir it around a little bit. So you want to cook the mirepoix to where the onions start to become translucent.
Okay.
Okay, turn the heat down a little bit. And the aroma really stands out with this, especially with the garlic in there.
There's something about, for me, I love the smell of onions and celery together cooking. You know, while it is somewhat reminiscent of Thanksgiving, it's missing some of the fall herbs like the sage and whatnot. But just that smell of celery and onion cooking together, I know I'm going to eat good.
Yeah. Okay, so this is just about done.
Great.
So it really helps when your pan is nice and hot. So we're going to add the mirepoix to our bread. With the stuffing, you would probably want it to do the day before, because this stuffing will be warm, and putting it into the turkey cold is not a good idea. So you want to cool the the stuffing down before stuffing.
Right.
Yeah.
So you don't want to put a warm stuffing into a cold bird.
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay.
So I'm going to turn the heat off.
So, well, that's nice. I mean, so you have a make-ahead here, too. I mean, actually, you could make this ahead. You could actually probably debone your turkey ahead, too, and just sort of be ready to go day of.
Yep. Yep.
Okay.
Okay, so here we go. We got our base right here. So our mushrooms will go in.
And you are not being shy with the mushrooms, all right?
No,
this is a real mushroom stuffing. I love it.
Pine nuts.
And like you said, you toasted those first. Always important. Brings out those natural oils.
We're going to add our herbs, which is our Italian blend. Parsley. Then we're going to add our liquids, our stock, chicken stock. And my favorite, wine. And then egg as our binder.
Right.
Okay.
Awesome.
And then we can season, salt and pepper. Because you put about 2 tablespoons.
Yeah, you want to be pretty generous with it, right? Because once it's in the bird, there's no reseasoning it.
Yeah. So, and it takes a while for the bread to start absorbing, so you would have to constantly stir and just make sure everything gets evenly distributed, so there's no dry spots.
Right, right, yeah. Or exactly. You want every bite of that stuffing should be exactly like the one before it. Okay.
Yeah. So, and by letting it sit overnight will help even.
Almost like if you were doing a French toast or a bread pudding or something along those lines, right?
Or a strata.
Right.
A strata.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, great. Well, I tell you what. Why don't we continue to do this, and we can let this cool down. And when we come back from our break, we're going to be deboning a turkey, stuffing it, and trussing it.
Yes.
All right.
Yeah.
You don't want to miss this, so don't go away.
Planning a dinner party? Figure out how much food you need with the Guestimator at SaveTheFood.com.
Welcome back to Community Cooking. In our kitchen is Chef Samuel Sellona from Torrance Memorial Medical Center, and he is getting ready to bone and debone and stuff and truss a turkey. So if you haven't set your DVRs on record, do that now. Chef, take it away.
There you go. First thing I'm going to do is start off with the wings.
Okay.
We're going to find the joint, cut right in there. You're going to see the ball, and it's all tendons that's holding it together. So you're using the tip of your knife.
Effortless.
I'm sorry.
Effortless. I mean, it's not like you're not cutting bone there. Like you said, it's just tendons you're cutting.
Tendon, skin, yeah.
So obviously, that's a boning knife that he's using. Sharper the better here. And if you notice, on Chef's left hand, underneath his glove is another glove, and that is a cut glove. So in other words, he's working fast here, and if he were to slip and hit his hand, he would not get cut. So that can be purchased at any restaurant supply, any cooking store pretty much.
Online as well.
Very good if you're shucking oysters or deboning any sort of fowl.
So I'm following the pelvic bone.
Wow.
And this comes right off.
This is masterful. I mean, please don't expect to do this quickly when you try at home. And that's what I'm saying. Set your DVRs, watch it a couple of times.
And then following the pelvic bone. Again, I'm not chopping or dicing or anything. Okay, so, and then we're going to start with having the breast towards you.
Okay.
And we're going to find the rib cage. And we're going to follow the rib cage all the way up. And again, we're just using the tip of your knife. And then we're going to find the breastplate.
Small, easy does it, right?
Yep. As soon as you find the breastplate, you're going to go up and then over.
The breastplate meaning like almost like the sternum there, right? Okay. Unbelievable. Now, you're going to wind up here with rather large carcass. That's also something that I would never throw away. You could either work with it immediately, or what I would probably do is I would probably break that in half, put it in, wrap it, put it in some freezer bags, and then whenever you want to make stock, you've got turkey carcass.
Yeah. So we got our.
That's like gold right there.
Yeah. So we got our turkey breast here. We're gonna trim off the fat. This is the fat from the neck area.
Okay.
So go in here. So now we're left with a full breast, as you can see, boneless. We're gonna make room for the stuffing. So we're gonna remove the tender. And you can use this for another meal at another time. I've done stir fries with that and other things.
It's just like chicken tenders, but that's the turkey tender.
So now we have to make more room for the stuffing, so we're going to butterfly it.
Butterfly.
Yeah.
So what he's doing there is he's finding sort of the halfway mark, if you will, and then slicing it and then just opening it up like a book. Look at that.
Okay, so this is done. We're going to set this off to the side, and we'll do the leg meat. We're going to find there's two bones, the thigh bone and the drumstick. We're going to follow the bone, and the main object of here is exposing the thigh bone.
Okay.
And once it's exposed, we're going to go underneath and up, and it gets exposed. And then we're going to find the ball. Again, we're using the tip of your knife.
Wow. This is some legit technique. This is really masterful, Chef. Very impressive.
Okay, and that comes off.
Also to be saved for stock.
And then we'll follow the other bone, and same procedure. we're going to expose the drumstick bone. And once you find it, you're going to go underneath and up and out. Okay, and then we're going to slide it down. Turkey bones tend to be a little brittle, so when we're going to hack off about 3/4 of it.
Okay.
And just a heel of your knife.
So a nice sharp cleaver would be best for that part of the job.
Okay, so now you're left with a debone, partially debone, and we're going to open it up as well.
You need that little handle though at the end though for this. That's what kind of
gives it a nice look.
Yes, it does.
Yeah. So what we're going to do now is season, salt and pepper. And what I've done is I've pre-roasted some peppers.
Some bell peppers.
Bell peppers.
So you got some red and some yellow here that have been pre-roasted, okay?
I've done it over the backyard barbecue.
Okay.
So
you can do even over the flame when you're on your range.
Yes. So this is our bell pepper, roasted, and we'll use the yellow one for our thigh, so we can distinguish the dark meat and the white meat.
Okay. So and it's just adding both color and flavor to the dish?
Mm-hmm. Definitely color.
Yeah.
And yes.
A little sweetness though. I think it's going to impart some sweetness for you.
So now we have our arugula.
And that arugula has been just lightly sauteed, just wilted barely.
Just barely, yeah.
You don't want
anything more,
You cook that too much, it's just going to,
Yeah, it'll just turn into
break down into nothing, right?
Yeah. Plus, it destroys the flavor as well.
So we've got our sweetness. That's going to be our peppery sort of quality.
So we got that there. Now we're just going to set that. I think that should be enough. And then
gorgeous, chef.
And then we have, this is the technique right here that is going to take some practice.
Yeah, now here's another thing to pay close attention to.
So we're going to close it up and roll. And flip over. Some pieces will fall out, but that's okay.
This is butcher's twine and or butcher's string, and the more the better, right? You can't have too much. The worst is pre-cutting a piece and then all of a sudden you get partway through it and you realize you don't have enough.
Okay, so here we go. So we'll start off with the turkey breasts first. What we're going to do is slide the twine underneath and towards the end towards you. And we're going to leave a little bit of tail at the end because that will help us. And then we're doing a square knot. Not too tight, just enough firmness to where it holds the...
It's the trussing that's going to tighten that up for you. Okay, here we go.
So with your right hand, you want to hold that up, and then you're going to reach over, pull, and then slide under. Again.
It's like a magician.
It's surgery.
Right, you've done this so many times, you can do this in your sleep.
Okay.
So what's happening here is, if you can see it, the bird is being trussed or tied up around it, but also right down the center as well. That's what's... Otherwise, if you just did a bunch of individual knots, it would not be even. It could slip and slide. This is keeping that from happening.
So now we're going to flip it over. Sometimes they may fall out, and that's fine.
Just put it right back in.
Yeah. So what we're going to do is give it a cut and go over.
So now we're coming back through the other direction and going underneath each of the round
And remember, in the beginning, I had the little tail. It's at the end. We're going to shore it up. Give it a cut.
just like that, you've stuffed a turkey breast.
So you got that. And more stuff falls out. And then we'll do it again real quick.
Okay, so slide it towards the back end. Tie your square knot, leaving yourself a little bit of a tail. Not too tight. Up with the right hand, bring it over with the left, and then underneath. Wow. There's only two things that get you this fast at techniques like this, and that is doing it 10,000 times and doing it 10,000 times under pressure.
Yeah.
Right? You don't get to take your time in a professional kitchen.
No, it's,
you got to move.
Speed, yes.
Speed.
Yeah. Time is money.
Time is money, that's right. Now we're going underneath, back away from him, and then underneath. And we tie off our tail. Wow. I would have to say that's one of the most impressive things I've seen on this show. Yeah. Not just the fact that you did it on TV, but the fact that you did it so quickly. Then we got a little rosemary underneath. Yeah. Perfect. Yeah,
gives
right.
it a nice essence, nice aroma.
Sure. Makes the house smell great too.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. And then a little bit of salt and pepper.
Got to season the outside as well.
And then we'll just get a little olive oil.
That's just going to help it sort of brown up and get nice and crispy.
Nice and crispy, yeah.
Wow.
I'll clean it up for you. And that's it.
Yeah. So now, how long are we talking in the oven for this? I know roasted turkey is its own thing, but now that we've deboned it, what do you think?
It's going to be, this is about probably about 15-pound turkey breast and thigh meat. So I would say about 45 minutes to an hour in a 350-degree oven.
350, 45 to an hour. What temps are you looking for? You really want to, when you're doing a bird, you really need to have have a thermometer, an instant read thermometer. What are we looking for temp-wise?
We're looking for 165 degrees, and it needs to hold that temperature for at least 15 seconds. To make sure that it's
and 165 means it's safe, but would you go a little bit more on the dark meat? Or do you take that to 165 as well?
No, just the flesh part will be 165.
Okay, but even with the dark meat, you don't go any higher on the dark meat?
No, 165.
Okay,
yep.
Great. Shall I get that in the oven?
Sure.
All right, because I know that we have one that we've been cooking since earlier. I'm going to take that out, show you what that looks like. Oh man, it smells so good. All right, I got two pans here. Look at that. Chef coming through with a hot pan.
Yeah, sorry. There you go.
All right, and pan number 2 is our breast. There you are. Now you're going to start carving those up for us, and you're going to show us what that looks like.
Okay, I'll set this to the side.
And actually, you know what I can do? Would you like me to give you my cutting board?
Yeah, that will work.
Okay, I'm going to give you this mat underneath. That way we keep things sanitary, because we were working with raw turkey on that. There we go. Perfect.
Okay. I'm going to need to push this down. Here we go. And then what we'll do is move the ties.
That's the other nice thing about having it trussed like that. You can remove it in pretty much one piece, as opposed to a bunch of them where sometimes people miss it. Have you ever seen that?
Yeah.
Where all of a sudden you got one of the strings in your dish.
Okay.
All comes out at once.
Let's set this off to the side. Okay. We'll start off on this one here. I'm sorry. There you go.
Knife can never be too sharp, right? Oh boy, look at that. You know, and also not a bad thing for Thanksgiving either, right? I mean, it sort of takes care of two dishes at once, and that turkey breast is so moist. I can see it from here.
And doesn't it look beautiful?
Oh,
colors?
It's gorgeous.
Yeah.
I can see from here how moist it is.
So
that skin, you can hear it. You can hear it crack.
It's just cracking here. Okay, so I'm gonna. Move that to the side.
Yeah, if you did do this for Thanksgiving, you take care of two dishes. One of your side dishes and your protein right there.
So you got your white meat with the red pepper, and then you got your dark meat with the
there you go.
green bell peppers.
Wow. All right, I tell you what, we're gonna carve up this bird some more. We'll finish that job. We'll plate it. We'll get cleaned up. Take a little break, and we'll come back and do some eating.
Yeah.
Sound good?
Yep.
All right, don't go away. Welcome back to Community Cooking. I'm here with Chef Samuel Sellona, who has prepared this unbelievable turkey Ballontine. Unbelievable. And look how gorgeous that platter is right there. I am not going to waste another second. I'm digging in. Now you plated this up with, this is like a little demi-glaze, right?
It's a rosemary demi, and it's roasted turkey bones. Made from roasted.
Made a stock from roasted turkey bones.
Yes.
That is so delicious. Oh my. Chef, that's incredible.
Yeah, thank you.
I mean, the turkey absolutely permeated into that stuffing. Everything is perfectly moist, delicious. This is lovely. And I mean, what technique. I really hope you all set your DVRs for this one, because this is great. I do want to try some of the white meat because it just looks so juicy and good. And I was right. Wow. Everything came out perfect.
Thank you.
Chef, thank you so much.
Oh, you're welcome.
We're going to do this again, right?
Sure, I'll be back.
We love having you. And it really does go to show you we are cooking with some of the best chefs from right here in our own community. So on behalf of myself, Chef Samuel, everybody here at Community Cooking, thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.
Go back in.
If you'd like a copy of the recipes seen on this show, send us a self-addressed stamped envelope to the Office of Cable and Community Relations. That's 3350 Civic Center Drive, Suite 200, in Torrance, California, 90503. Be sure to note the show number displayed on the screen. And don't forget, you can find all the fresh ingredients used on today's show at the Farmers Market. Visit the one here in Torrance at Wilson Park. That's located at 2200 Crenshaw Boulevard. They're open every Tuesday and Saturday from 8 a.m. until 1 p.m., rain or shine. And if you'd like to be a guest on our show, email us at communitycooking@torranceca.gov and check us out online at youtube.com/TorranceCityCable and like us on Facebook at Community Cooking TV.